is not the keyword. Here I given already in the syntax, it is variable name. And we don't have any keyword like float in our TypeScript. So that is just a variable name here. And the data type is number. The data type is number. And into that, we can store the numerical values and handle those values. Okay, that is what actually primitive types. In the primitive types, so that is the number type, how we can deal with a number. Okay. Next, after understanding the number type, how to declare, how do we store numbers? So a complete overview I given to you. Next option is we need to understand about string type. So in the primitive types, we have a number, we have a string, we have a boolean, we have null, we have undefined. These are the various types actually. Technically, what is a string type and how do we handle strings in TypeScript? That is the basic point. Let's see what is a string type and how do we handle the strings. So yesterday's session was about this number type. Now today we will see how to deal with the string type. Technically, so let's go detail now about the string type in TypeScript. Yeah. Technically, string is a literal. String is a literal with a group of characters enclosed group of characters enclosed in three different techniques. One is double quotes, another one is single quotes, and another one is backticks. So string is a literal. A literal is nothing but a content which may have a meaning or without any proper meaning. A group of some characters, alphanumeric and special characters. So a group of characters. So group of characters which includes alphanumeric and special characters. Alphanumeric and special characters. And string literals are enclosed in double quotes. They are enclosed in double quotes. And the string literals are enclosed in a single quote. It is enclosed in single quote, or it is enclosed in backtick. So this backtick is available on tilde symbol. So beside your number one key. So backticks, what is difference between them? That's what we are going to learn now. Double quotes, single quotes, and backticks. Backticks is new into TypeScript and JavaScript, which we can use here for presenting the string. Usually, what is the purpose? Double quotes, single quotes actually. Generally, when you are working with strings, so double and single quotes are used to swap between inner and outer strings, between, you can say, outer and inner string, vice versa. Double and single quotes are used to swap between outer strings and inner strings, vice versa. I will show you that, how we can swap between the inner and outer strings here. Double and single quotes can be swapped actually. We will see how they can be done. For example, so let's take our project, and in this let's create a new TypeScript file here. Let's add a new TypeScript file here, right? And this is our project actually. And here I'm adding a new variable, okay. And here I will add a new string demo.ts, a TypeScript file, okay. In this string demo.ts, so I'm declaring here let msg is a string type. It is a string type. And here we are configuring initializing a string. Actually, string can be in double quotes. It can be in double quotes. It can be in single quotes and backticks. Initially, I am showing you. So welcome to TypeScript. So here I am using double quotes. So I will save this and console.log, I am printing that message. Fine. Let's transcompile this and run this. I'm not using terminal because the output should be clear to you. That's the reason I'm using a command prompt. You can directly try on terminal, right? Okay, here TSC. So that is string demo.ts and the node string demo.js, string demo.js. And it is showing this is in double quotes. That is a general. A string literal can be in single quote also. Can be in single quote. I'm adding a single quote. Welcome to TypeScript. And I just put a single quote here. Just message updated. Now you can see that string in single quote is also working as same double quote. So you can see this is also working fine. I'm using backtick here. I'm adding a backtick and I'm configuring the backtick here. So backtick and with the backtick. And this is called backtick actually, backtick. I'm adding backtick and I will compile and run this. You can see backtick also working fine. Backtick also working fine. So the single quote, the double quote, and the backtick, all the three are working fine. So are similar here in appearance actually. Then the question is when to use double single quote combinations and backticks. Let's see that. Generally, double quotes and single quotes are used to swap between outer and inner strings vice versa. Means what? I will tell you. See, later when we are dealing with strings, usually what happens, suppose I am writing an anchor here. Anchor is having some markup as a string, and here we are using href is an attribute, and the page name should be again a string. Now, if the outer string is defined in double quotes and the inner string inside that, you cannot use again double quotes. That will be a problem. A string within another string cannot use the double quotes again. So I say home.html, it's not working here, home.html. So that is home, that is like this. That means it is not working with the double quotes, Now what we have to do is to represent a string within another string, then the inner string should use a single quote. Now the problem can be solved. So that means this is the outer string, and inside the string we have another string which is defined in the single quotes. That's how we configure a string within another string. That's what actually the outer and inner strings actually. As of now, we are not presenting in this any HTML page. So we are not expecting any link here. We are just printing that statement and watching it, right? So I will compile and run this. And when I compile and run this, and you can see that, so it prints that outer string. Inside that we have an inner string defined in this way. This is the outer and inner string combination. Remember, I'm not showing any HTML. If I present in HTML, it will show like a link actually. Okay, fine. As of now, just our intention is to understand it. So this is one technique of how you define this. That is the outer string. The outer string is using double quote and inner string is using single quote. It's not mandatory. As I given you in the definition, single and double quotes are used to swap between outer and inner string. They are used to swap between outer and inner string. That means what I can do here, we can use in another way. The outer string, I can define single quotes. Outer string, I define single quotes. Then you can see that here, you can see here, the inner string is having problem now because already outer string is in single quote. Now inner string, you can keep in double quotes. That is also valid. You can represent a string in this way. So that means you can swap between inner and outer strings. When you are dealing with inner and outer strings, we can swap between inner and outer string. That means we can give a combination as a outer string is in single quote, inner string is in double quotes, right? So this is the change that you can handle by using this, right? So that is the inner and outer strings. How do we configure and inner and outer strings? Now technically, so here it depends on the situation and the requirement, which you will see in various examples. We will discuss about that. But this is the valid approach of handling the string. So you can use single quotes, we can use double quotes, we can use single and double quote combination when we are dealing with outer and inner strings. We can swap between them. So, but important is if an outer string, and very important, sometimes you people may have a doubt like, sir, inside that string, another string, how I can write? How you can write? You can follow the same approach. What is the same approach? Suppose inside this string, so this is also working fine. This is also working fine. I will compile this and run. You can see that is also working fine. So that is also working fine. Now, many times you have an doubt like, sir, inside this, what we can do? Suppose this is an inner string. Inside inner string, I want another string. Then obviously you can use here. You can see here, this is the inner string in double quotes. Inside it, one more string I should use. Then I can put a single quote. So here, but this single quote will escape printing. So then that we will learn in the next point, how we can print it without escaping, how we can print it. We will discuss about that. But that is what we are going to learn in the next point. We will learn about that. As of now, for example, so inside this, we are having any specific content. So outer and inner string is fine. Now, when any special characters will come, how do we escape those special characters? We can see that. That's what we are going to understand here. So in the next, going to learn about that. So first point is how we can use the outer and inner strings, and how do we define the combination between outer and inner strings. Okay. We have another option is backtick. Actually, backtick is available. Backtick is available from ES5. It is available from ES5. So from ES5, we can use this backtick. And important about backtick is backtick allows an embedded expression expression, expression inside string, inside string. Backtick allows an embedded expression inside string. What does that mean? I will show you now. General single quotes and double quotes. So single and double quotes, single and double quotes, double quotes, single and double quotes will not allow embedded expression, embedded expression, expression. They use concatenation, concatenation. They use concatenation. So they will not use any embedding. So you cannot embed anything into that string. What does that mean? I will show you clearly. Backtick allows an embedded expression inside the string. Single and double quotes will not allow the embedded expressions. And very important is string with expression, string expression, right? String with embedded expression, embedded expression is defined, expression is defined by using string with embedded expression is defined. Actually, it is defined by using, it is defined by using the technique. We can use $flower brace. That's how we define the embedded expression inside the string. I will show you. So what is difference and how to handle this? You will see that what is the difference and how to handle that. So string with embedded expression is defined by using dollar and flower brace. And very important is, so it is possible only for backtick, It is not possible for other type of string representations. Let's see what is that, how we can configure. See, now what I'm doing here is I'm creating an age it is a number and value as some 20. So name, LET, name is a string, and so here I will put a value as some John. So this is username, okay, because names are general keywords, right? So username is John and age is 20. It's a number and it is a string type. Now I want to print a message. I want to print a message with some expression inside that. That means how we can define an expression and how do we configure the expression inside it. Let's see. So we are writing console.log. I want to print a message. I'm using a double quote or single quote for string expression. We are using single or double quote. Here, first I need to say hello. Okay, hello. And I need to say hello to John. Hello to John. And John is a variable present in username. So username variable should be concatenated with this string. Then we usually use the concatenation operator plus that variable name, username. Okay. After that, I am continuing my string. Then again, I am using a plus and again a concatenation, means again a string. And here I am writing, so hello John, you will be. Okay. After that, I want to add the age plus 1, means 21 it should be. Then here I need to use again a plus. And here we need an expression. And that expression should be age plus 1. Then I need to use a parenthesis. Here I have to write age plus 1. That evaluates 21. That is 20 plus 1. You will be 21. And again, after that, one more string should come. Again, plus and concatenate the string, saying that 21 next year. That is the message we are displaying. That is the message we are displaying. This is a very complex representation of string. This is a very complex representation of string, very complex representation of string. You can see here, in this approach, so lot of concatenations in a string, because in a string we don't have the possibility of embedding an expression. Actually, this is an expression evaluating a name. This is an expression evaluating a number, and it will work here, but observe carefully. The issue what you will face here is, I will compile and run this, and you can see that when I compile and run this, so when I compile and run this, you can see, hello John, and you will be 21 next year. And see here, lot of problem in the space concerns are there, because you are concatenating a string with another string. Lot of concerns are there with the spaces also. Generally, in the traditional developing process, usually we have to care for these strings spaces also. Actually, people have a habit of adding the empty spaces also manually. Like, see, after hello, I want a space. Then I will put here a double quote and a plus, means you are concatenating a space. After username, I need to concatenate a space. That means again double quote, so plus, double quote plus a space. After the string, again we need to define, or there is another technique. After B and use a space. But if you use such spaces inside the string, later in our coding, we generally trim the strings. When we trim the strings, what is trimming the string? I will tell you. We will learn about the functions. Then the leading spaces will be cleaned up. Means additional spaces behind, additional spaces before, they will be cleaned up. Then again the problem will be created. That's the reason people have a habit of writing a double quote, so for empty string. And see, lot of concatenation here. After this, again plus and again concatenation like this. This is how I need to write a string in order to print it with proper presentation. That means you can see now, I will compile this and I will run this. And you can see that is how it prints. It says, hello John, you will be 21 next year. This is how generally a string is handled in early days. Now with ES6, you have a new representation of string, and see how we can manage that string. I am using console.log, means another message we are printing. In this message, I'm enclosing the string in backticks. So we are configuring the string in backticks. And observe here how to write a string with backtick and what is the advantage of this. I am writing here, so again, hello, the same message. And here I am just defining, I'm continuing my string, and in between I want an expression. Then simply I can use a $flower brace, and here I can define username and continue your string. I will say that here you will be, again an expression, then $flower brace, inside this age +1, and after that next year. This is how we are representing the string. This is more better way of configuring a string with expressions. And you can see this is the same output actually. That means here we are embedding. This is embedding. You are not concatenating. This is plus is concatenating. We are not concatenating. We are embedding a string into this. So I will save this. So I will compile and run this. And you can see that two statements are printed. So two statements are printed and both are same in output. But the second one, in designing, it is very better than the first one. Output is same. What you are looking for is same. But here we are using an expression here, string expression. Now, very important point is, can I use this embedded expressions? Can I use these embedded expressions inside single quotes or double quotes? For example, I said console.log and I am using a double quote, hello, and I am using so a dollar, and this expression is not treated as an expression. So it is a general string. It will not allow any expression. This is not an expression. That means it is not going to allow any expression. It is not going to allow any expression. It's not going to configure any expression, right? And I'm using here even a backtick. Here I'm using a single quote. I'm using a single quote. Even single quote will not allow to embed any expressions. That means the single quotes or the backticks are not allowing any expressions, So only the string type that allows the expression is backtick. That means you can configure with backtick, then it will allow the expression. So this is the new concept of representing and configuring the strings in our JavaScript and TypeScript also. This feature available from JavaScript ES6 onwards, and it is now used in the TypeScript also in the same way. So we can define a string with the double quotes, with the single quotes and backticks. So later you will find the backticks very much important. We will find the backticks very much important because in Angular, especially when you are dealing with rich design, majority our string contains embedded expressions also inside them. That's the reason you should be very much using this backticks while dealing with the string and expressions. In Angular, you will see string with expressions very much because Angular have the ability to handle the presentation along with the logic in the UI level. In that case, it uses a lot of expressions in the presentation itself. Then you have to use these type of string representations regularly. So we will use all of them, but as per the situation and the requirement, we have to define. So this is an example. That shows the difference between them, right? How you use a double quote and how we use a single quote, right? When representing the strings, these are the three important things. We can use a double quote, we can use a single quote, we can use backtick. Now, another important point is, so in a string representation, in a string literal, you can define special characters. You can define special characters. But few special characters are not printable. They are not printable. Some special characters are not printable. They are not printable. Because why they are not printable? Because they have a specific functionality. So in the compiler, that means compiler uses those characters in a different way for a different purpose. Why some characters are not printable? Because compiler uses those characters for different purpose. Due to that, when you try to use those special characters inside a string, then it cannot print those characters. Generally, so the non-printable characters usually escape printing. The non-printable characters usually escape printing. Now, very important is you can print any non-printable character. You can print any non-printable character by using a slash. You can print any non-printable character by using a slash. That is important to understand. That means how do we configure and how do we define the non-printable characters? Let's see what is that. So how we can manage that? What is the problem at all? What is the problem and how do we handle the problem? How do we work with the problem? We will see one point about that. Generally, the main issue with this, how we can manage and how we can handle this is, see, suppose here I am defining let path, and path is a string, and in that string I am writing some path. So d colon slash. So in that, so we have images slash. In that we have some cars slash, some Ferrari, right, dot jpg, like this. We return a string like this. The string looks fine. It will compile fine also, no problem. But when I run this console.log, when I run this path, that means I am printing path is equal to whatever the path. So I want to print that path. And what you observe is while compiling, no problem. While compiling, we don't have any problem. But while printing, what the compiler will do is, compiler is not capable of printing some special characters. So why? Because those special characters in the terms of compiler, they have a different purpose. That's the reason compiler will ignore such characters which have a separate purpose inside the compiler. Due to that, what happens when I print this, you can see that now it is printing like this. You can see d colon images cars Ferrari.jpg. The path went wrong. Actually, in the path we were having slash. In the path we were having slash. And currently we don't have this slash printed. This is not printed. Remember, no error. It's not showing any error. It simply escaped it. That means it's not printing. Then if any character is not printing and you want to print that character, then you have to precede that character with a slash. Then if I write like this, many people have a wrong assumption. Immediately they ask this, they ask like, sir, double slash means one slash, huh? No, it's not meaning that, right? Don't think that double slash means one slash. A slash is used to print any character which is not printable. That means not only slash, if any character is not printable, that character should precede with slash, right? Now don't simply say that double slash for one slash. That is wrong. You should say that a slash for printing the escaping characters, a slash for printing non-printable characters. Currently, which character is not printing? Slash is not printing. So we use a slash slash. So we use a slash here. Then it will not allow this single slash to escape. It will not allow that single slash to escape. Then it will forcibly print it. Then you can see that now the path will be correct. I will compile this and I will run this. Now the path is correct. Now the path is correct. Now the path is correctly configured and the path is correctly defined. Now it is working fine. That means now don't think that so double slash for one slash for any special character which is not printable. For example, see, I want to print this entire string in double quotes. If I want to print this entire string in double quotes, what I am doing is I am using a double quote again inside that double quote. And you can see that it is not allowed because our intention is to print double quote, not single quote. Double quote should be printed. Then in that case, if you want this double quote as a general character to print, then what we have to do is we have to precede the double quote with a slash. We have to precede the double quote with a slash. That means here we need to precede the double quote with a slash. The double quote with a slash. That means we are using slash to print the non-printable character. So any non-printable character you can print by using that slash. That means I will compile this and I will run this. And you can see that this time it will print that double quotes also. It is going to print the double quotes also. That is the option how we can configure the double quotes. So this is what generally we do when we are configuring and working with the strings. That means how we configure a string and how we can prevent escaping. That means, for example, I defined a path as a string type, and here I defined d:/pix/ some flower dot jpg. And if I try to print this directly, console.log, and I print that path directly, then usually the output will be like this. So the output will be like this. It will be d:, so it will be pix, it will be flower dot jpg. It will be like this. It will be like this. But we want it in a perfect way. Then we have to define path and a string. And any character you are escaped printing, then we have to precede a double slash and pix double slash and a flower dot jpg. And this will print the output in this way. If you are printing that, it will print d:/pix/, so that is flower dot jpg. That's how it happens. This is an example for that. That means how you are presenting a string, how do you are configuring a string. These are the points about how do we represent a string type and how do we configure the string type. And once you know how do we represent and configure the string type, now we need to understand how do we handle the string. That means string handling. String handling is very much important to understand because a lot of validations and interactions are done by using this string handling. For that, we need to learn about several functions. When you learn about string, you should know how to handle the string, like how to search for a character in the string, how to replace a character in the string, how you can get the length of the string. Because in client-side technologies, a lot of validations are done by using and accessing the string representations. So we need to know how to manipulate the strings dynamically, how to handle the strings dynamically. For that, TypeScript provides several string handling functions. We need to know those string handling functions. How do we work and deal with the string handling functions? We will see how we can deal with those string handling functions in our next session. Hope you are clear with this topic. I see that many people have a lot of doubts. So they keep on pinging the message. Even I say don't ping the message. So that's the reason. We will see what their problems are, right? And tomorrow we will continue with this. And tomorrow we will continue with string handling, and we will learn about string handling functions. Right.
You ignored the semicolon. In the
What?
previous example, when writing a string, you
Yeah.
ignored the
Generally
semicolon.
in JavaScript, semicolon is not mandatory actually, right?
Okay, okay, sir.
That is a general basic approach, but it's always important to end as per the coding rules, right? It
Okay,
is
but
not mandatory. You can ignore, right?
okay, sir. Okay,
Uh,
thank you.